We'll get there eventually. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, everyone. Hope you're having a lovely day. My name's Thomas Cope. I'm not race today. Got 4 drivers on the grid. Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship. We've got Patrick Thompson, João Alfonso, Tiago Pereira, and Scott Rhodes himself as well. All racing on the grid now. They're all out there qualifying now. So we're wishing them all the best. In a separate room, so they're off focusing. But yeah, we're going to jump over and look at the cams and watch the race. So I hope you all enjoy. I hope you all have a good evening. I will be here commentating, calling a bit of the action what I can. I am by no means a commentator, so please feel free to roast me in the chat. But I will try my best. I'll try and call out anything and stay with the action a little bit and see who's overtaking and making moves. But we do have a very interesting race today and a very close field, so we'll see how it goes. We've got 2 3-lap heat races, and the top 15 from each heat race qualify for the A final. And then from the A final, that'll be where your big points are available, where all the pro drivers will be in, and the big points are paid out. So hopefully, just like last week out at Watkins Glen, we can try and get all 4 drivers into that Pro A final. Really score some good championship points for not their own, let alone their own championship, but for team championship as well, which we'll go over shortly as well. But for now, some of the guys are just coming on to start the quali laps, so we'll jump over and watch this lap with Patrick Thompson, and we'll also jump on board as well. And I will also be quiet during the lap. Well, an unlucky little situation for Patrick there. Picked up an off track, so let's slow it down, let the tyres cool off, and bring it back on the next lap and go again. Obviously, at the moment his lap time is minute and 12 down, so I don't think he'll be qualifying with that. But he's got plenty of time to go again and give it another shot. So we'll see what he does on the second attempt. While we have a second, we're waiting for Thiago, who's just coming down the back straight. We'll cover over some of the championship standings currently. So we've got 4 drivers running the championship. Had 5. Unfortunately, I did race. I've had to pull out due to some situations with my rig. Patrick's jumped in my spot for the rest of the championship. But looking from there, Patrick's jumping into the Pro Championship. Obviously, he's going to be jumping right down the bottom with a drop score already applied from missing the first round. I, after the first round, was P7 in the championship. Obviously, I'm going to fall out from that. So it was a good first outing for the pros in that first round. Looking down to the rest of our team in that Pro-Am Championship, where we do have a big bulk of drivers. So currently in the Pro-Am Championship, we've got Thiago Pereira holding it down for Olympus eSports Vanguard in the 215 car, 4 points behind Eric Roskiff in the P1 position in the Racing Lab eSports Car X. So currently, Thiago doing exactly what he needs to. I mean, qualified P7. He is ahead currently of Eric. So right now he's doing what he needs to for that championship. I don't think Eric has actually showed up tonight. No. So yeah, Eric hasn't actually showed up tonight. So a good result out here today for Thiago, and he could end up taking a championship. But we won't commentate curse him. Not that I'm a commentator at all, but yeah, a good outing. Could bode really well. Going down, we have Scott in P7, representing the Olympus eSports Vanguard. Also, a 210 car. He had a good outing. He didn't quite make it into the A final straight off the bat from the heat. Last time out at Watkins Glen, he had a few issues and he had a crash really early on in that first race. Ended up going to the consolation final, scraping through P6, so dead last. The last car to qualify for the A feature race. Last time out, but with an incredible result going from the back of the grid. I think he was finishing P15 overall. And there weren't many crashes, to be fair either. A lot of solid overtakes and really good moves from Scott there. So up into P7, and then right below him in P8, in the 228, representing the Titan side of the team, actually tied on points as well, is Mr. João Alfonso alongside Scott for that P7, P8 position. They're only 27 points off of the lead for Pro-Am category, so anything can happen. They can score some good points today. Obviously, currently P6, P7, P9 in qualifying. So we're on board with. I'm watching João as he's going around again. It looks like he might be trying to improve, and I'm not 100% happy, but yeah, some really good results so far throughout the field. Looking into the team's championship, we've got the Titan team, which was myself, and it's now going to be Patrick and João. Currently sat in P5 with 147 points, only 60 behind the leader. And then the Vanguard side of Scott and Thiago in P9 with 139 points. So not far behind either. Only 68 points off the lead team championship. So currently looking really good. Really good outing. A really good showing for the team, and a really good debuts as well all around. Scott's obviously a returning driver, been with us for a while. Thiago and João, some of you may know, this is their first league along with Olympus eSports. So some really good showings from both those two drivers on their first outing, and really giving some good points for their own championships. So yeah, we'll sit back a little bit tonight. Like I said, we'll try and commentate Fry being the keyword, over the race. We will stay on board obviously and try and watch our team cars and see how they go. It does look like Jiao is the only one. Double check. Tiago might. No, Tiago's on lap as well. So we've got Jiao and Tiago trying to improve their lap times currently. Have dropped down to P7, 8 and 10. So a couple of drivers going and topping them up currently. And how did... While we have a second, I will see where Patrick is. Oh, Patrick must have made an issue on his quali. He didn't improve his time, he's still at 7:51. A minute and 10 off the lead, so he's starting from the back of the pack because he's currently not moving yet. Currently sat in the pit lane, starting early, so we'll see and keep up with. We'll probably actually start with Patrick and see how that start of the race goes because it's going to be very interesting. Patrick is a very fast driver, and starting from the back of the field, that's going to be. Gonna make for some interesting content here on the Nordschleife. Jiao, did he improve? Yes, Jiao did improve. Not by much, only a couple of tenths, but improvement nevertheless, and that is the checkered flag. I think we're gonna have drivers in all the splits. Yeah, so I think we're gonna have drivers in both heat races, so it's gonna be an interesting little evening and watch of races. I think we will be having a rolling start. Yeah, so you can see the guys they're all lining up on the back straight. So I did see this myself in the setup for tonight's race. It's going to be a standing start, a rolling start. Sorry, excuse me, wrong thing. A rolling start into the grid instead of a standing start and having cars starting from around the corner. So yeah, rolling start, and they'll go straight into the race. I think they will go in single file rolling start. So everyone's going to have a bit of a gap as well. Patrick obviously is in second heat, and we also have Jiao in second heat. So we're lining up with Tiago in P17 overall in this split, and Scott effectively right ahead of him, starting P15 overall, P6 in class. So that'll be pretty close, and probably, and hopefully, be working together to try and get some good positions early throughout this race. And Scott currently in that P15 qualifying spot for the feature race, so we'll see if he can hold on to that or maybe improve and get some better positions. Let's see. Yeah, so the front of the grid just starts moving off, so let's. I think for the first couple of corners we'll go quiet and let the guys get ready and start the race. And yeah, we'll start commentating after the few couple of corners. And good evening, Great White Shark, by the way. Hi, Charles. Welcome in. It's alright, Charles. We'll get it sorted for next round. I think he has got a livery, like the box standard livery, but we'll make sure he has a proper team livery for the next one. See a car dropping down the order. Like you might have got going again. Yeah. Oh no. Connection issue. Crash further behind. So Scott's currently sat in that prime spot, P15 qualifying position. He'll be very eager to try and stay there. Thiago behind, he'll be very eager to try and get it as well. So Scott will be trying to move up, and so will Thiago to try and move up through the field. We do have a close little train here with Scott from the cars in front and behind very closely. He looks very racy with right now. So we'll stick with him and watch how this goes, because could see a couple of moves on the straight. Tree cover. Got a tree blocking the view. Yeah, Scott's doing an amazing job there. He's just sticking with the pack. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of a draft train down the pack straight, and there's quite a few cars in front that are all drafted together. So, unless there's any major moves and major mistakes from any of the drivers ahead, it's going to be a bit of an issue and challenge to overtake any cars. But Scott's a very calculated driver, so I'm pretty sure he'll wait till the final lap and make something late on and try and make a move there. See a driver. Oh! That's one off. That's Corey. Yeah, Corey Lazarus. Promote Scott to P14, Thiago to P16. So, oh, as we see a 2 wide. Nearly 3 wide up ahead. Could be some very slow cars here. Scott's got a really good run, so he may be able to get a position or 2 here. Thiago just behind. He's there to pick up any freebies. At the moment, I don't think there's going to be any big wrecks, but and maybe a freebie or 2 to come for him from spins, so we'll stick with it and see if they can get position as Scott is pushing. And that's the AXA Sim Sport driver. It's the Racing Lab eSports driver, so yeah, that's another position for Scott. Up into P13 now. He's looking very racy out there. And he's got a good couple of cars ahead of him for him to overtake. Yeah, I think that's Bernardo. Yeah, Bernardo ahead has quite a bit of front end damage, so we'll see if that's going to impact him on the straight, especially if he gets to the front of the train. It's definitely not going to be nice for him on straight line speed. Scott right now does have a position in class ahead of him, which I very much think he would like to try and get in ARA Porsche Cup. Yeah, Thiago's still there though. He's right on the back of this train. I think he's just biding his time. Obviously it's free lap heat race, so still another 2 laps to go here, and obviously we all know Nürburgring, they're very long laps, so a mistake is very easy to make through the field. See 2 wide up ahead. Balls out going into the corner. Very slow car coming down the hill. Hopefully it's not going to impact. It might slow down Alberto Quattro. Yeah, it looks like Alberto's had to check up there a little bit, but maybe very eager to try and get past after that. Just watching Thiago. He's very calm, collected. He looks like he's got a plan. Not trying to push it. He's still on the back of this train, so Scott with that very straight face never seems to crack a smile, does Scott, even after a good move. So we'll have to keep an eye and see if anything comes of that. Yeah, explained perfectly. Race mode. Very focused right now. Patrick just keeping an eye on things, seeing what can occur over the course of the 3-lap race here. Seeing where he might be able to get positions on slow class drivers, but definitely in a bit of a zone. Let's just ride on board with Thiago, who's at the back of this train. But he's been very calm. He's watching everything unfold. He's still got another lap and a half for dramas to occur, and he only needs to make up 1 more position. I see a couple of these drivers may try and get a bit racy and find some freebies, so we'll just ride on board for a little bit and see what he may be seeing within this pack. Does have not a big gap. He has a gap behind, so he doesn't need to be too pushy with the cars ahead of him right now. 2.2 to the pro driver Tobias Olsen behind. So he will be very calm and chilled for now as the wipers are going wild on the windscreen. So had a speck of dust smack bang in his viewing area that he didn't like. just see the two cars in front just a little bit more all over the road, using up more of the road, as if they're a little bit more on edge, trying to keep with this pack right now. I mean, it's very much like top of the field pack. This is your top 15 on the grid, so still very respectable fast drivers in their own right. So anyone who's pushing a little bit outside of their comfort zone are very prone and easily can make a mistake. So sure, Thiago is very calculated and just waiting and buying his time. Doesn't seem like he's using up all of the road and pushing past his limit quite yet. Still doing a really good job. It's been a mistake / incident that Tobias had behind. See, he's gone off the track and also lost a position to one of the AM drivers. Apparently, Pro-Am driver holds the fastest lap of the race, so the Pro-Ams are now apparently faster than the Pros, which is why you see the Pro-Ams at the top of the standings. But we do have 3 Pro drivers leading at the front of the field right now, and then the next 3 are Pro-Am, ironically, and then the next 3 are Pros. So nice little mix of fields and class level up at the front. Yeah, Thiago is starting to really get on the back of these 2 drivers now. We'll stay on board here and see if we take any moves. So we are going too wide. It's an overtake for Thiago. Moves past him, one of the AMs. And a mistake from Glenn. That's the Pro driver of these 3. And that puts Glenn in the hot seat, as we'd like to say. Currently right off the back of the making it to the A feature fight race. So Thiago and Tim will be looking to try and defend from the Pro driver and keep this position. May see Scott drop back off a little bit and play a little bit of a team game potentially for Thiago and give him a little bit of a draft on the back straight. I'm not going to hold my breath to that, but yeah, lovely little move there from Thiago. Bided his time, he's been waiting for that one all race. And yeah, nothing too crazy. He knew he only had to make up 1 or 2 positions through the course of this race, and 3 laps doesn't sound like a lot, but around the Nürburgring, that is a long race, and in comparison to the normal heat races we have in this championship, it's only a 12-minute heat race. So in comparison, they'll be getting 17-18 minutes, close to 20 with the course of the heat. So a little bit more time to play with, and obviously it's all that more trickier here around the Nürburgring. looks like Thiago is starting to put a bit of the throttle a bit further down. Really pushing some of these sectors and track limits, so he's really trying to move away from Tim behind. So he doesn't want to be vulnerable coming down the back straight and allow them to drive straight past him, especially if they bump drafted together. Well, it's not just the last corner. One's made a little mistake. Another position there for Scott. We'll see if that potentially helps out Thiago here, because that's going to be a little bit of a draft there for Thiago, so he may be able to get cover from the two cars behind. So it's not been, admittedly, not been the cleanest sector there from Thiago. We'll see if he gets a little push here from Tim. Just try and work together and knock out that pro driver that's behind him. It looks like Tim is doing that, so it's very good for Thiago. Looks like he's, as long as Tim doesn't do anything stupid here, looks like he's going to be able to qualify through at the front here. Keep watching and just double check, but really good race, real calculated from Thiago all the way through that. Scott doing some really good as well. +3 positions for Scott and +3 for Thiago, so really nice equal, and that is the checkered flag. So yeah, really good job from Thiago there, really to capitalise where he could and wait and bide his time. Can't really say that enough, to be honest. Don't see that every day. We'll actually go back and have a quick little look, because we quite missed it. Just getting up on the inside. Don't ask me for corner names. And then a little mistake in front from the Race Lab eSports. Yeah, just getting in very deep from Glenn. And Thiago just straight up his inside down the hill. Really capitalising there right at the end of that race. But this race is now where it's going to get a little bit interesting. So I'll wait a second and wait for the gridding procedure to start, but we are just waiting for the last couple of cars to cross that grid. It's look like they've crossed the grid now. So yeah, we'll be beginning the shooting crates. That's the one. Shooting crates. Yeah, I don't know corner names. If anyone knows me personally, I maybe if you're lucky, corner numbers. But TC on comms, interesting to do the speed limit on that. Hey, I am not driving for other reasons, not because I can't put the speed limit on. But yeah, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna start that discussion. But yeah, I'm now a cheerleader effectively. It's a long story short. But yeah, going on to this second heat race, we've got Zhao currently occupying P14, so one position in the green for advancing. But the pro driver of Patrick Thompson, fortunately, we did cover it in qualifying. He didn't get the qualifying lap in the end. So I was back at the grid. So we see. I mean, if you're looking at the relative, there is a lot of AM drivers ahead of Patrick right now. Obviously, we are starting in single file format, so it's going to be even further back and even harder. But it is going to open up the field a little bit on that start, to a little less carnage, and maybe a couple of positions early on. But if I'm getting it, it's +9 we need from Patrick in this race. I would love to say he's done this on purpose for a bit of suspense, but we'll see as the last one to set off from the grid. I don't know about you guys, I think we may want to start on board and stay on board for a lot of this race with Patrick, because it's going to be a bit of an overtake fest. Hopefully, is what we need from him. So I think we're going to take the onboard with Patrick and watch a bit of a driver's eye from the start of this race to maybe halfway, maybe at least one lap, and hopefully no issues and no dramas. And yeah, we'll see how it falls. Also, if I can remember, try and get
green flag, green flag.
So the green flag does drop. We'll try get the track mark, just so we can see that spread through the race. It's turn 1, position 1. So right off the green flag, starting making moves already. And yes, yeah, +10. Bit of a miscalculation, but Patrick was saying to me prior, off comms, behind the scenes, he did have what was, I think it was, he said a 36 in his pocket. So yeah, so he said he was on for a 36 in the qualifying, and then had a little off track, which we actually were on board with at the time. And he was saying from what he was on, it would have been about P4/P5ish. So just a couple of issues there for Patrick in qualifying, but we'll see. Obviously, he's got a bit of pace. We'll see if he can use that pace and make up a good couple of positions in this race, as that's already +3. May see a +4 as that's Ivan going off wide there. What did Patrick do to be last? Yeah, like I was saying, just a mistake in qualifying. Picked up an off track, which is really easy to do here at Nordschleife. So he's really making it hard for himself. So he still manages to get a position. That's Tim Perry. And there may have been another one off there as well. Thomas Asphalt dropped a couple of positions. Up to P21 overall. So we're still looking for 6 or 7 positions. We'll have a quick look up with Zhao. I think he has just, yeah, he's side by side as we speak. So he's still in that riding seat of P15. Well, hopefully Chow can make up one position so we can have a slide. Yeah, hopefully Chow can make up one position so Patrick isn't going to knock a teammate out of the of that driving seat to get into that A feature. But yeah, as we jump back with Patrick, obviously we see his camera on the right hand side, right at the top. That is not at the top for any reason, don't look into that. Just the first one to add camera to the system. But yeah, he's caught back up to what looks to be Kim Andre Borkland in front. The Some Racing Norway car. I do recognise that car quite well. He's going to have a little draft up the hill, so he's going to make up some time here. I think he may have overheated the tyres, so he may be having to be a little bit careful through the second phase of this race. Yeah, Zhao down into P15, so we'll keep an eye on that and keep monitoring. He is currently tucked up right behind Leon Erger. He's actually side by side. Well, I think he's Lewis Malicki. Wide. Good for Zhao. It's just too wide going into bravery. Not what you want to be doing or seeing. I think I've ever seen one really properly. Yeah, quite a bit of rear damage. Just spot on the TV camera. So he'll be looking to try and at least challenge to get back up into that top 15. Seeing where he can get to. Yeah, you can see. It's not going to affect him too much on the straight line speed, but the handling may be affected on that. So I'll keep an eye on the timings and see how he's doing. He does have Emil Koemans, who is a really good driver in his own right, so we'll see if he can keep him at bay. That's still a good position in class. He's currently sat P4 in class, so we'll root for him and see if he can keep that. Meanwhile, right, looking at all the sugar. Patrick has caught up to that Sim Racing Norway car, Kim Andre Borkland. That is currently an AM and a Pro Am right in front of him in the P20 and P19 spot. So Patrick really early doors. I mean, that's +5 currently on the opening lap. We'll see how it goes. I think he may be able to try and make a move on the back straight, the very long back straight. Maybe make something into the final couple of corners and make up 2 positions, but it's going to be very opportunistic, especially if these 2 drivers are going to work together a little bit. Very wide for Kim. That's another position for Patrick, so +6 already. Looks like he's getting a really good draft up the car in front of him. Valtteri. See if he can maybe make a move into the final section. If not, it's going to be a little move into turn 1. He's close enough to maybe link him. Yeah, around the outside. Both drivers are going to try and stay in it, see if anyone pulls out, and it looks like Patrick's going to be ahead going into the final couple of corners. So +7 on lap 1. Patrick, which was more than what we needed. He has got some really good pace in that car currently, so we'll see if he can stay safe and consistent. It does look to be only about 4.5 seconds for Patrick to make up now to get into the top 15. Zhao just ahead with Emil behind him. Zhao is starting to pull back up towards Sam Kisparol, who was Blicky in front. So Lewis was the car that pushed him wide at Bravery Corner, so he'll have the grip between his teeth to try and catch up to Lewis and prove a point. But yeah, with Patrick coming behind him, it's only a matter of time. I'm not sure if we'll see any team orders. Maybe a bit of communication between the two and being able to see that Patrick is faster. We'll see. But Patrick is really on a hard charge right now. It does look to be he's already made up half a second to what is the back of Emil Koopman, and he's dropped Valtteri by 2 seconds already in the first couple of sectors on this first lap. Has a bit of drift. Emil is off. Bit of a mistake there from Emil. I think he might have had a bit of contact with the wall. Car doesn't look to be too damaged. Tyre management is... It's not something you'd often talk about in a 3-lap race. But maybe it's something we should talk about in a 3-lap race at Nürburgring. You push these tyres too hard and you are going to overheat them very quickly. And you'll see on the top of the screen, it does look like Zhao has really caught up to the back of Samuel Sproul now. Samuel is on the back of Luis Balicki, so... Yeah, maybe Zhao can fight to get back into that top 15 spot. They do have then a 3-second gap, what looks to be ahead of them, to Leon Erger for that P14. So it's looking like an uphill climb, but there's still potential. Emil goes wide. Patrick goes inside. Nice little classic move there from Patrick. P18. We'll see how quickly it takes for Patrick to jump onto the back of Zhao. Yeah, Patrick's really putting in some mega pace. Like I was saying earlier, Patrick was looking at a 36 in qualifying, which was, I think, 3 seconds faster than the likes of Scott, Zhao and Thiago. I mean, they were just into the sub-40s, so it does have some really good pace in the 192 car right now. Some good confidence, which may have been knocked a little bit with that qualifying result, but I'm sure he'll be pushing as hard as can. I don't think there's going to be anything left in his tires at the end of this race, because the pace that he's putting out and the slides that he's having right now, it doesn't look like he's been kind to say the least. See on the side, Scott and Thiago watching with care. Both of those two drivers have qualified for the feature, which we'll see after this heat race. Both of them qualifying or finishing their race in P12 and P14, so in the top 15 to qualify for that A final. And we won't be having a consolation final tonight. I think more of a time constraint from the broadcast side of things, but yeah, we'll be going straight from the heat races into the A feature. So Patrick is pretty much already on the back of Zhao. See, Zhao is circulating in P17. So at the moment, even if Patrick can get ahead of these two drivers, still not quite what he needs. It does look like Luis has pulled away a little bit from the Blackout Motorsport car of Samuel Caterhall. I think for the last couple of sectors we'll go on the back straight. We'll jump on board with Patrick. He sits right behind. You can assess that damage on Zhao's car as well. It's just a little bit of bending. There's nothing too major. It looks like the rear wing is still very much intact and in one piece, no bends. So pace is still going to be there for Zhao. Maybe a bit of confidence knock after the incident, but yeah, the car will still have some really good speed, and we'll see if Patrick can help Zhao and maybe catching up to Mr. Sproul, or getting past Sproul here on the straight with a bit of a bump draft. And maybe then help pull him along to 133. Samuel Sproul just lifts off and lets both cars pass, so an easy one. He made a bit of a mistake. He recognised that there was two cars of the same team coming. Very nice of Samuel, very aware. Does look like there's a bit of communication between the two, so maybe a bit of a push coming in. Yeah. Bit of a team play. They've got 3 seconds, what looks to be, to make up to Lewis Balicki, so they need to work together, or even one of them, to get to the that transfer spot. Does look like Zhao's going to help give Patrick that position, so yeah. We'll see if Zhao can stick with Patrick. That's definitely not the case, Callum, but sure, I'll let you think that. Zhao looks like he's really having to put some scarce into them tyres now. It's a little bit all over the place, but we are on that white flag lap. We only need one more position for Patrick. It is currently 3.5 seconds. The last lap for Lewis Balicki was... Oh, Patrick! That may not help the transfer. Gonna see him. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna come straight back past, but... Yeah, it's definitely not gonna help there for Patrick. See, he's gonna have a little bit of damage after that. Potentially. I feel like he's pretty clean. May have just been a little scrape. Or a tyre issue there for Patrick, and scrumming off a lot of tyre wear, so. Like I was saying, a 40.7 it was last time for Patrick. For Lewis Balicki, and a 39.7 Patrick. Like I said, we know he could do a 36, so it's whether he's got the car behind him to be able to accomplish a 36. Around the nose life 36, but Patrick and Zhao, is that where you think we're going to end and get into the feature? Saw a deer on the track, was just trying to avoid it. Currently, I've got Patrick to be in P16. Yeah. Yeah, he would be, yeah, sorry. That's my bad. So yeah, currently, as Charles has correctly pointed out, Patrick is in currently that qualifying position. So one car behind, or one car in front making a mistake, as there is a lot of smoke ahead. I'm not sure what has happened there. Oh, Zhao! That's not good for Zhao. Stuck in a wall. It looks like he's just too deep on the brakes, yeah. Nearly. Oh, and Samuel followed him behind. He nearly jumped in there and collected Patrick. Luckily he didn't. Like we were just saying, Patrick currently is just about in that qualifying position, so we're doing a last to first in the feature race as well, presumably. I think that'll be. Yeah, very unlucky there for Zhao. He'd been running a very clean race at top point, other than getting pushed wide in the early stages, but still P4 in class. He's in that little train, he's got Emil right in front of him, Arthur right behind him. All Patrick really needs to do now is keep clean and not bin the car. Smoke was young. I did see a little incident for Young, so let's go and have a look at that. Yeah, a lot of just spinning and rears. Go back and have another quick look. How about? Yep. Yeah, just in too deep. Lost the rear. And yeah, a couple of positions lost. Does look as if the car is not going to be too damaged, so yeah, he's still ahead of Lewis Bilicki for now. So we'll see if he makes any more mistakes. Hopefully, maybe a freebie there for Patrick for a better position in that feature race, but right now with it being a 2.5 second gap to Bilicki in front, 4.5 to Mr. Young, even with the damage. I think Patrick's really struggling on the tyres right now, so he'll just be looking to get to that finish line as fast and as clean as he can and pick up any freebies that may come his way. And it does look like he's still trying to close down the ATRS car of Lewis Bilicki in front. So we'll stick around for a minute and see how that goes. Seeing another incident for Zhao. It does look like Zhao is just towed to pits, so that's maybe a bit of a retirement there. We'll have a look at that back after the race. We'll finish off. We've only got the back straight really to go now. Go back to Zhao's incident here in a minute. Patrick 2.7 behind Luis. He does have Aiden right in front of him as well, so. Aiden is a pro class driver as well. I'm noticing he is not on the scoreboard in any kind, but he will be under the pro class. I think that is Patrick is the last pro car on the track. Yeah, he is the last pro car on the track. He has had to come from the final position on track, and just to get into a qualifying position is a top result for himself. So yeah, P16 there for Patrick, so he won't be too upset. If he has qualified, he doesn't look too happy. I think he may have known that there may have been a bit more there if he'd not made a couple of mistakes, but still a really good result either way. This is what has happened for Zhao. A little bit of grass, that looked like. Yeah, a little bit of grass. Off grass. And another incident towed back to pits. Stay along and see what happens to Zhao. Don't want to show me. Doesn't want to show me apparently. Do it the old-fashioned way. Car looks alright in Nick. Okay. There we go. A bit wide on the cross there. Does he lose the rear on power? Yeah, it looks like a bit on power, a bit on the curb. Just spins a car across the middle of the track. It looks to be just escaping and not causing any more crashes. For Zhao, very unfortunate. He qualified well in class and was in that qualifying position. Very unfortunate to not make it in that one. As we go out in the phase, shall we wait and see if we can see the grid. did have results. Practice results. Yes, of course it's practice. Is going to see. Heat 2 results. Skim through them. So, Heat 2. Yeah, Patrick in P16. And then obviously we had Zhao drop off a little bit. And finish apparently a lap down, but he did tow right on that last lap, so unfortunate for Zhao in that spin at the end. Move over to the Heat 1 results, where we had Scott and Thiago. And yeah, as we're seeing there, Scott in P12, Thiago in P14. Really good results. I like how we had both the Vanguard drivers and both the Titan drivers in their own races, so yeah. I think looking at the frozen cameras, it's to be Scott is just cameras. Need to do a little bit of sorting out. So yeah, it looks like Patrick's gone away. Obviously not happy. I don't think he might not have qualified for the A feature here. Get Scott's camera back in shot. For some reason it was watching his screen. It's not himself. Grid. See. Second. I'm really trying here, I swear. There we go. Right. So down the grid, it does look to be that. Don't need to see them. We don't want anyone else. Yeah, so Scott in P23. And then we see Thiago in P27 and Luis Balicki got that P30. Just ahead of Patrick there. So yeah, unfortunately for Patrick, he was one position out of the transfer spot. He won't be happy. He should be happy. But no, knowing what he's like, he won't be too happy with the result. Making his own mistake in qualifying. They knocked him off for the race, and yeah, we'll see how Scott and Thiago do here. The two remaining drivers doing the race, they are off on their grid. They are moving, so jump onto the TV cams while they go single file. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of a crash fest potentially. Obviously, you see a lot more of the top drivers pushing for positions early in this race, so we'll see if that goes to show here. We see people making moves early in this race and not. But P6 and P8 in class, some really good results. Obviously, Thiago, I think regardless, Thiago is going to move up to the top spot of that Pro-Am Championship. I'm not going to hold on to that. I think just racing this race, he'll go to the top with Eric not racing this evening. But Scott will be scoring some really good points. He'll be looking to get some more, obviously. He does have two drivers in Quattrop and Petri. Just ahead of him. He does have a pro driver between him and them. He will be looking to try and get those positions and score some really good points for his class today. Also, we have a little bit of a longer race. There we go. We have the same length race. Just a 3-lap feature race today. I'm too busy thinking about the another league where it was 4-lap feature race, but yeah, 3-lap feature, so exact same lap. Well, maybe we'll see a bit more of a calculated drive again from Thiago. Take his time. Doesn't look to be. I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I am mistaken. Oh no. I was going to say I thought Thiago had dropped down, but just looks like the field's spread out a little bit more behind Scott at the moment. Scott almost pushing what looks to be Albert Quattro right in front of him and through that corner. Yeah, leaders will be pushing as hard as they can, trying to get all the positions they can right at the start. A lot of smoke coming down through here. What is the slowest corner on this long Nürburgring track? Sorry. I'm having a bit of a coughing fit there. Oh well. Hope it didn't come through on the mic. But yeah, it has been a. Scott tries to scare me there a little bit. Yeah, so it's been a bit of an interesting start. Scott currently sat in the same position, quite a few movements ahead. He is a bit on the back foot right now, getting attacked from Leon behind. But Thiago behind, he has benefited from one position. I think behind there was a little bit of a spin, half spin, between the two of Scott and Thiago. Thiago is up into P26, Scott into P23 still. They are in a bit of a train at the moment. There's no significant gaps throughout the field other than really the fight for P2 or P1 and 2. Nicholas Nord and Gabriel Solomon are a bit in a class on the road at the moment, as if there might have been a bit of an issue. If we look back, there has been a couple of crashes behind in the field, but nothing in front, so we won't look too much on that. Scott just losing. Oh, Scott just gaining there, sorry. Wait, has gained. From Felix, sorry. Not sure quite what happened to Felix. I was actually looking away for a split second there. Scott has moved up a position. So we'll be looking at that. We have got Bernardo also into the pits. Bernardo's crashed and it's towed to pits. So a bit of an issue there. Yeah, thank you Charles, yeah. So Felix and Bernardo had a bit of a crash. I didn't quite notice it, but maybe have a look back at that later on when it quietens down or after the race. quite an intense fight just ahead of Scott here. These are all for position. There for Scott. Yeah, about the four cars ahead, other than Oyston, are all potential for positions. So Scott will be looking to try and make up some of these fights, get some extra points on the board. Thiago is. I wonder if he's taking a similar approach to the last race, just waiting for instance of mistakes from other drivers. There is the pro driver of the outside back, Michael Pedersen, right behind Scott, so he may be looking to get a bit pushy and make up some positions to any potential pro car that he might be able to overtake. But in a close proximity, there's not many pro cars for him to overtake, as the two geodesic cars get very close. Coming there into Tiergarten. There's Herford and Leon Erger. There's a bit of a smoke trail there behind them. There's no one in front, no positions gained. Maybe a bit of an instant behind, but we are onto that white flag lap, so we'll stay with Scott. Scott's right with this train, so maybe these drivers are going to start getting a bit racy and maybe start making some free positions or generally making some overtakes. Scott is right on the back of ARA Porsche Cup, so we'll see if he may be able to make any moves or scare him into a mistake. That's Oyston on the outside, that's a pro car. So I'll maybe see Oyston and Michael Pedersen behind have a little bit of fight and open up a bit of breathing room, but still two pro cars right ahead, pro-am cars right ahead. Obviously that's P5 and P6 there for Scott to maybe get positions on. So he'll very much be looking to try and pick up on those. Thiago is still just behind the two pro cars. Maybe just happy with the position he's in. It is a P24 for Thiago right now, and P21. As there's a lot of smoke, and that's a slow stop car. That's Luis Rodriguez. One of the pro-ams. That's another position there in the class for both Scott and Thiago. So with those games, P20 for Scott, P23 for Thiago. So Yeah, he's got a really good view of it right now, hasn't he? Hopefully it doesn't involve Scott. Scott has a good view of it and gets past it as well, so we'll see how that goes, but yeah, there's about what, 9 cars in this train. I mean, if you start from Timberlake, yeah. There's a big little train here. Pretty wide up the hill, you think? I have 3 wide down the hill at this rate. Look at this. 2 pro-am cars, well, 3 pro-am cars trying to get past the pro. That's Carl Hergson, this one. Racing the eSports car. So we'll see. But P6 and P7 in class, really good result for the 2 drivers there. But maybe some more positions that could come up on this final lap here for Scott Williams. We'll wait and see how that goes. I think we should probably pop on board with Scott for the last bit of this race. See the draft that he can get down the back straight. See if he works with anyone. Bit of a curb strike for Scott there. Had to lift out of the throttle a little bit, that hindered his speed coming onto the straight. Ever so slightly, still picking up a really good draft. But he is in a bit of a draft range, so maybe nothing that can really go onto there. But we'll see if there's any carnage coming down into Tiergarten. This could get very interesting going into the final couple of corners. Get ready to click the clip buttons, boys. It could get spicy. Oh, there we go, 2 off on the right. In the middle of the track, slow down, Scott. No. Finish it, go, go. I wish I could see that coming. Oh, they're still wrecking. Oh. I don't know what's just happened for the end here.
How did I just pick up 10 places in one corner? What?
Well, at the end of that, somehow, Thiago got the P20. Scott got the P23. I do not know what happened. I think we need to do a bit of reviewing here. This let me put my laptop away and get my keyboard out. This is going to be an interesting bit of viewing. So, coming down the back straight, I think it's these cars. Just turns in, leaves him no space. They go wrecking off. We're not going to be a judge here. Straight back into... Oh! Who's that? Is that Goodestad? Christensen gets wiped out. Straight back into the racing line. Mads might just save that. Scott couldn't see anything. I think we need to sit on board with Thiago here, as he makes up like 5 positions there. Let's send those cars to the scrapyard. Yep, that's all they're worth after that crash. $1 million pile up. You can see Thiago just sees everything unfolding. Lifting off early, braking early. Oh, he collects Scott. It's just pure carnage. I mean, that got very spicy. Now let's go and have a look at what happened between Felix and Bernardo as well. Bernardo off and just collects Felix. Felix pulls into pits, I believe, does it? No, he keeps going. Bernardo, yeah. Or does he tow? Pretty sure he towed. Or does he wreck again? No, he just tows. Well, I mean, that couldn't have got me any more interesting. I think I'm gonna have to save that replay and send a couple of clips out there. See if we can see all that all over again. Just everything happening at once. But yeah, with that one, I think we'll call that the race. As yeah, that's Tiago and Scott waving. Presume they may be listening. But everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for swinging by. We wish you all the best. Have a good evening, and yeah, this is Olympus. Good night.
I know that I have been selfish. Baby, I've been so helpless. You and I will never be the same. Our hearts are moving quickly, rushing to a place we've never been. Our footprints washed away. Would you hold my hand again? And I miss you.